الحمد لله نستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا فمن يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا اللهم صل على سيدنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها وفي مقام آخر قال الله تعالى قد أفلح من تزكى صدق الله العظيم. From the past few weeks we have been talking about the Tazkiyah of Nafs, the cleansing of the soul. And the idea is to have a self-improvement. Every day you look back at yourself and see how much have I improved from yesterday. What did I do today that was not in accordance with the Quran and Sunnah? And what have I done today which is in accordance with Quran and Sunnah? And what happened today that compelled me to pull me away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and I fought back? And what compelled me to pull me away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and I gave in? These are the kind of things that are self-reflection of a human being upon the actions that the person does at the end of the day. Now you have seen examples of people writing diaries to record the things that happened that particular day. Then we see people who make columns. And in every column they put things that they have done that particular day. This is not to show off to anybody. This is exactly to figure out where do I exist as an individual when it comes to abiding by the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This could be done alone, in your free time, anytime. Just have a self-reflection. That's very important for a human being. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us 30 days in Ramadan. And a lot of the time in those 30 days, it's about self-reflection. And how do you self-reflect in Ramadan? You're stopped from doing certain things that you're allowed in the other days to do, which are halal to do. During the daytime, you yet can't do them. Why? So that your focus is diverted towards something more important, something more spiritual. And then there are certain things that you shouldn't be doing anyway during the rest of the year, and now you're stopped as a self-reflection to see, oh my God, I'm so used to doing this, now I can't do this. Don't backbite. Don't lie. Don't do this. Don't get mad. Don't fight. Control yourself. Anger management. Be nice to other people. Go and help out other people. Control yourself. Control your hunger. Control your desires. All of these little things are what? Self-reflection. So upon coming out of the Ramadan, these are the things that we try to continue on. And that self-reflection continues on. That's why the two ayahs that I have recited to you, the first one, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. The one who purifies his soul succeeds. And the one who basically fails to do so and corrupts it is the one who doesn't succeed. The other ayah, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ تَزَكَّى. He has certainly succeeded who has purified himself. So the success lies where? In the purification of oneself. That is why extremely important that yes, when we stand in prayer in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when we give out zakah, when we go and perform hajj, and when we fast in the Ramadan, all of these do involve physical involvement. But deep down there's also an involvement of soul. When things go down at the soul level, then the impact is far outreaching. When you leave the salah, when only your body is involved and your heart is not involved, when you go back into the next salah, there is no feeling involved in it. Between the two salah, there is no attachment involved in it. But when your soul is involved in the salah, in the prayers, now when you're out of the prayer and you're outside doing your daily affairs, now you are extremely cautious all the time. I should not do anything that is against the rules and the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because in the couple hours I have to go in front of Him again. I have to present my case again. So when I say, اهدنا الصراط المستقيم, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please guide me, what have I done outside of the salah to be guided? How much emotionally I was attached to the words that I was uttering. When I was saying Allahu Akbar, when I was saying Sami Allahu liman hamida, did I really truly believe in those words? When I said Qul hu Allahu ahad, Allah is one and only one God to be worshipped, and He should be the one to be worshipped alone, outside of the salah, did I really believe in that? If I believed in that solely, then why and how I committed those sins that I did without a second thought. Without a second thought. That means my soul is corrupted. That means I have to go back and reflect upon it. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ. The one who has purified himself has done what? He has succeeded. So I want to be among those who have succeeded. I do not want to be among those who were called out and said, okay, you stand here, I will deal with you later on. The rest of you guys, you go and enter the Jannah. I don't want to be among those people who are called out and put on the side. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says it's extremely important. In the Meccan life, there were two kinds of people. In the Medina life of the Prophet Muhammad, there were three kinds of people. The two kinds of people in the Mecca were, I believe, and the other kind of, I don't believe. In the Medina, the three kinds of people were, I believe, I do not believe, and the third kind is the most dangerous one, I believe, but only through tongue, deep inside I don't believe. These are the kind of people you cannot identify. Because they sit among you, yet they're not among you. They sit among you, yet to cut your roots down. These are the hypocrites, al-munafiqeen. And these are the kind of people who are extremely dangerous. And they're found in all times. Even in these times we find them. They creep in the orders. And they try to corrupt your mind and your soul. So you have to be aware of these people. You have to be aware of them. That they don't ask you questions to get guidance. No, they ask you questions to confuse you. They play with your mind. They ask you very silly questions. Oh, you say, Inna Allah ala kulli shayin qadir. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do everything, but can Allah lie? They ask you these, a person's like, are you stupid? Why would Allah do something that He says that you shouldn't do? Why would He do Himself? So those kind of silly questions they put in the minds of those people who are still young or who haven't studied much. So that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to what? Thinking bodies, contemplating bodies, self-reflecting bodies. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to get the purification of the soul. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that in the Meccan period, there was a blind man, Abdullah ibn Maktum. Blind man, and he was also a poor person. When Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was used to sit with the rich people of Quraysh, his tribe, the likes of Abu Jahl, the likes of Utbah, Shayba, and Nadr ibn Harith, and many others, they would say, O Prophet, we will listen to you only when these poor, smelly people are not around you. We do not want to be treated the likes of them. And this is the time when Prophet is speaking to them and presenting the religion to them, and this blind man walks in the presence of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He doesn't know he's blind. He can't see. Who is the Prophet talking to? Who is the Prophet explaining the religion? He comes with a very genuine question. And the Prophet does nothing but what? He doesn't pay attention to him and just show him through his actions, his body language, that come back later on. But he doesn't pay attention to it. He comes back. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala records this whole incident in the Quran and says, O Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, in your presence a blind man came, and out of your purity of heart, you wanted him to come back later on. But you know what? The people that you were listening to would anyway not believe in you. They were just there to waste your time. Because Allah knows best who believes and who doesn't. They were just there to play with you. It was merely their excuse that they want to talk to you when no poor people are around, because the one who want to believe, they will believe anyhow. Like the likes of Abu Bakr. He was a rich man. He was so a rich man that when he was leaving and migrating to Hudaybiyah, the people who were non-believers stopped him. The leader of the tribe of Ahabish stopped him. And Abu Daghna said, Abu Bakr, you cannot leave. We do not want to lose the people like you, the nice people, the people who are friendly, the people who are helpful. We don't want to lose you. And you are in my jiwar. You are in my protection. Come with me. I will announce this today in Kaaba. And why the non-believing person was so inclined to make sure Abu Bakr stays behind? Why? Because Abu Bakr's purity of heart, his selflessness, all the things he talked about Abu Bakr was the nature of Abu Bakr's behavior. And this is the kind of individuals who will accept either way. It doesn't matter the Prophet is sitting among the poor or smelly people or not. Likes of Uthman, likes of Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, the likes of Zubayr ibn Mut'am, Zubayr ibn Awam, the likes of many other people like them, like Saad ibn Abi Waqas. These are coming from the good tribes. These are coming from the chiefly families. And they will accept either way. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the person who came to you, he was blind and is poor, but he was there to what? He was there to fix himself. وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ لَعَلَّهُ يَزَّكَّى, so that he may be guided and he may purify himself. When Musa alayhi salam was asked to go to Fir'aun, and Musa alayhi salam was given a clear things that Fir'aun, I'm sending you as my messenger. Why? إِنَّهُ طَغَى, he has crossed all boundaries. He has crossed all boundaries and he's extreme transgressor. And I want you to go and talk to him. إِنَّهُ طَغَى. But فَقُلْ هَلْ لَكَ إِلَىٰ أَن تَزَكَّى. Make sure when you take your approach towards communicating with this guy called Fir'aun, maybe he will fix himself and purify his soul. Fix himself and purify his soul. A lot of the actions that he was doing was because of the corruption of his soul. That's why when you accept Islam, the first thing that you try to fix in you is your heart. And heart is where the purification lies. The iman, the belief is in the heart, not in the head. Head follows. That's why you will notice at times your head rebels against your heart. And your heart fixes it. Head says, how can you worship a God that you haven't seen? And the heart says, no, that's what the belief is like. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. No, I do believe in it. These are the words of the God. This is the messenger of the God. You do not perplex me. You follow me. And those who just find their brains to be the only source of information, you will find them in philosophy, confused about the existence of God, confused about the creation of universe. You will find them extremely confused people who get close enough to the God, but yet not get to the God. Go and read Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. Read these Greek people, huge, big philosophers of their times. They got this close, but they were lost. If you look at their writings, you read about them, they would spend hours and hours on what? Self-purifications. They would go out in the public and say, define good. Because good is a quality, it's not a quantity. You cannot define good. Define good. And people will have different definitions of good. Define fairness. Different definition of fairness. Define righteousness. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given meanings to these words, which you and I were fighting about as to exactly what these words mean. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through the prophets from the beginning of the time, has been streamlining this humanity so that their thought process is fixed. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you got to first believe, and then you do good deeds based on that belief. If you only do good deeds and do not believe in me, then you should not come to me and say, I want Jannah, Because you never believed in me. So when you never believed in me, why do you want my Jannah? إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. And the one who believed and then they did the good deeds. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. And they were the one who steadfast and hold true to their grounds. Now there are a lot of bad things happening around us in the world, in the Muslim world. Look at the case of the leaders in the Muslim empire. If you put all these 56, 57 states together, may represent 1/3 or a little less than 1/3 of the world's number of countries, but they don't have any say. It's easy to put them aside by saying, I veto this. The 5 countries that have the veto power can turn down anything that you bring in UN. Why? Because you don't have a say. When you don't have a say, people don't listen to you. Why do I not have a say? Nobody talks about that. People just complain about, he's not listening to me. They're not listening to me. Now, why should they listen to you? What do you have to offer? What have you contributed in the last 500 years? The total number of research organizations in the entire 57 countries are less than the research institutions just in Japan alone. What are you talking about? How many automobiles have you produced? What medical instruments have you produced? What medicines have you given back to the society? You are only on the receiving end. And nobody listens to the one who is on the receiving end. Nobody. It is a wake-up call. You need to get back up. You need to get educated. You need to get somewhere so that people will listen to you. There are people who are in minority in this world, but people listen to them. They probably are not even 1% of the world population. Why do people listen to them? Because they have a say. They have a worth. They hold the economic system. So being big in numbers, we are probably represent the second largest religion in the world. Over 1.5 billion people. They must be a big power. But things have changed. A lot of them are begging for aids to survive. The leaders are not God conscious. They're not God conscious. That is why Tazkiyah is so important. That is why the Tazkiyah, the purity of the heart, is so important. Because if each and every individual in the Ummah works on this, purity of the heart, will going to think 1,000,000 times before doing the corruption. Why is it that the village next to this prime minister or this president doesn't have electricity, but the president's house, the prime minister's house, never goes out of power? This is nonsense. These are the kind of things that this ummah needs to work on to revive. That there should be justice. And the justice will creep in when we self-reflect. And this will going to be the beginning of the times that when you self-reflect, you ponder, you work on yourself, you improve yourself, and you want to move forward with it. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.